Happy Tuesday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is time for Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays, where we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience. But 13 minutes of our time, of our day, we do it together. We connect, build, and share. Hey! 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 Hey, Eric. Shout out to Eric Burton. Eric is in the building. Say hi, say hello. If you're online, live, jump in the chat box. Thank you all for tuning in on the radio podcast. Shout out to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play listeners, Stitcher, Breaker, Anchor FM for making this all possible and giving us a platform for our voice. Yes. Yay! Shout out to my Instagram fam, by the way, as well. All right. You know what time it is. It is time. I already said it. And I'm really excited about today's episode. This is episode 67. Yo. 67. If you are new to the show, say hello and welcome. Welcome to the Shift Your Thinking series, which is a bonus series on the Ready, Set, Real Estate show, where I come on every Tuesday and we do a little bit of personal and professional development, a little spirituality here, a little emotional health, physical health, mind, body, spirit, really, the whole self. And the reason why I am doing and continue to do Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays is because regardless of what I write, teach, sell, empower, introduce on the real estate side, if your mind is not prepared or ready to receive that, it's just not going to work. I am not going to be useful to you. I need your mental, your physical, and your spiritual to be in that space, so that you can get some of this ready, set, real estate. All right, let me just throw the caption on here for episode 67. I'm calling it Real Mind. And when I say real, I'm referring to like the movie Real. You know, the old school movie Real. So REEL, Real Mind is what this is called today. Real Mind, episode 67. And if you haven't grabbed a copy yet of Shift Your Thinking, we are following along from Dean Del Sesto. I have to do it this way. Dean Del Sesto, 200 Ways to Improve Your Life. And we are on section 67 in the book, where he says, what you think can record itself in your mind as a real event. How many of you have thought of something and find yourselves getting upset over it as if it really happened? How many of you thought of something in your mind as if it really happened? The power of the mind is very, very profound. Shout out to Richmond. Hey, Richmond, thanks for tuning in. So, real mind, let me say that again. What you think can record itself in your mind as a real event. You're just out here just making up some stuff, which is why that fake it till you make it, the mind, I will say this, the mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality. So when you are visualizing and you are playing back in your mind what it is that you desire in your life, the universe conspires to set up situations, scenarios, and people to give that to you because it does not know that it's not real. Hello, how are you? I think it's Naja on Instagram. I'm really going to enjoy this topic because this is my playhouse. This is where I dabble. This is where all the creativity comes from. For those of you who have noticed, I've released another book over the summer. I just released 2 new books are coming out, and I got a third one coming out. I shouldn't say a third one. That'll probably be my 6th book coming out April 2019. 24K, Levi's in the building. You're going to love this episode if you just joined in. We are talking about real mind. And so as I share about the mind being my happy space and my place to play, I'm sure people from the external are looking and saying, Lisa, how are you? My sister said this last night. She said, your mind, that greatness in your mind is just amazing. Hey, Landscape Larry. Oh, I see you on the Instagram. I'm missing you over here on Facebook. I'm used to seeing you over here. Yes. 24K Levi says, it's Tuesday, let's get it. And you're going to love this because we are talking about the ability of the mind to record itself as real events. And I'm saying the subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality, which is why visualization is so important. You couple visualization and the power of the heart, which is 10 times stronger than the mind, you have something so powerful, so magical for you to co-create your existence wherever you are. No limit. I'm going in today. Y'all feel it? I haven't even started reading. I just read the title. I'm like, all right, we're going in. So he says, think it, be it. Marinate on that. Think it, be it. It's more real than we think. Things happen 3 times, you guys. Events happen 3 times. And I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm telling you, this is where I dabble. All the creativity, all the ideas, all the downloads, they come from here, heart and mind, which is why I say, why we do Shift Your Thinking Tuesday, because whatever I teach, share, empower you on the real estate stuff, if your mind is not ready to receive it or is not created, designed for that space, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. The largest piece of real estate is your mind, hands down. He says the single point of processing for every perspective we have is found between our ears. Ooh. The mind is command central. Yes. The processing plant, everything must go through before it becomes a feeling, posture, attitude, or action. Listen to that. The mind is the processing center where everything has to go through. He says it is the hub of all things, and yet it is rumored that at best we only use 10% of our brain. He says it's a rumor. Now listen to that, because let's be careful when we're hearing statistics and people saying we're only using X percentage of our minds. That is a very dangerous statistic to perpetuate, because remember, the mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality, and in your existence it is recording things as it is real. So if you're hearing a statistic, a rumor, a fallacy, an opinion, your mind will receive that as real, as fact. Think about that. You only need 2 people to accept something as truth, and then it becomes a fact. Marinate on that. He says if that's the case, what takes place in the remaining 90%? Just a mystery, I guess, he says. But if 10% is tops in the brain game, I'm not sure I'd ever want to meet a person who was using all of their brain. And we can go next level here because we know very real there are people who have telepathic abilities, hyping the clairvoyance, the clairsentience, right? All the clairs. You hear me say that again? All the clairs. The people who are tapping to those abilities. You are divinity. I am divinity. One of the things that I affirm over my life every single day is I am divinity. I am a co-creator. And if I am divinity and I am a co-creator, I have the ability to do some very supernatural things. It isn't by accident that in the world, in my external world, in the material world, I am known and calling myself a super agent because I'm saying to self, I have the ability to do supernatural things in the realm of my industry. And I continue to show and prove that. 24K Levi says, facts. Exactly. Make sure you tag and share and let somebody know. Somebody needs to hear this today. He says, regardless, the mind is an incredible tool capable of great things at whatever percentage it is operating at. We know this. He says, one thing rarely mentioned, though, is that the brain has the capacity to take events that we think about and record them as if they actually happened. Again, how many of you have been in situations with your significant other and you have thought about something and you got upset? You created a whole scenario situation in your mind that you got upset over, and then your partner is looking at you like, what's the problem? And you're upset over something that never happened. You triggered physiological reactions off of a thought. What if you did that for something positive? What if you triggered physiological reactions over something positive? This is why a little game, if you've never done the blue feather technique, I'm going to drop a gem right now. Just, the blue feather technique. Actually, and this came about when I read Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. And in there, he talks about the ability to manifest a blue feather. Now, if you really want to exercise the brain and tap into the mind and tap into the space where it is so much fun, because I am having so much fun. My life has changed tremendously when I started to discipline my mind. And one of the things that you have done this as a child, but you forget as you get older, you forget that you are actually doing this. And so the blue feather technique allows you to tap into the mind of creativity and imagination, where you will manifest this into your physical reality. It is really fun. That'll be the CTA. I'll finish the blue feather. Let's continue. Because I want to hear how many of you who are connecting with me actually do this. There's not a timeline that you can do it. But when you focus on it and release it and allow yourself to be in that space, you can manifest a blue feather into your physical reality. But there's a trick. I should say a trick. There is expanding the mind and brain of what blue feather means. All right? Okay. We'll come back to that. Hashtag blue feather, because that's what we're talking about today. This is awesome. So he says, I'll continue. He says, the body then stores these thoughts, and over time they become part of our mental makeup. This is what largely determines our attitude. How's that for powerful? The good news, he says, is that our mind is essentially software, and we can reprogram it from where it is today or something better, stronger, and more stable. This is very true. How many of you believe in or know? Let me use the word know. We believe as children, we know as adults. All right. This is what this is about. It's elevating your vocabulary. We believe as children, you know as an adult. I need you to know things in your life. So, did you know that, let me recap there, where he says the body stores these thoughts, and over time they become a part of our mental. The body can rewrite history. Did you know that you can rewrite your history? Did you know that you have the ability to recreate the history and the experience that you have had in your life, albeit traumatic, negative? Did you know that? I'm saying because I've done it. I have rewritten trauma in my life. I've had trauma as a child through my adolescent years and my early adult years. I've experienced trauma. We all have to some certain degree. And if you're people of color, we think a lot of the trauma which we witness is normal. It's not. But we can rewrite our experience of it because the brain allows you to reprogram itself. This is next level, y'all. I didn't know. I didn't know. I just turn the pages and then, we just go in. He says, but reprogramming requires dedication to paying attention to our thought life. I just said this. Disciplining the mind. And he says, as dysfunctional thoughts come up, listen, because you will have some dysfunctional thoughts. Seriously. And it's not unique to you where you go, my goodness, why did I just think that? Random, weird, yuck, ew. You will have some dysfunctional thoughts. He says, investing a moment to remodel the thought into a new paradigm that works for you, not against you. Listen to that. I just said that. You have the ability to rewrite the trauma that you have experienced. So it works for you, not against you. He says it's these small thoughts, restructuring moments that all add up to an amazing attitude about life and bring our 10% brain capacity to a high percentage of fulfillment. Shout out to everybody joining on Instagram. Look, we're just concluding episode 67, calling Real Mind. I shared about the blue feather technique. Please check out the replay because we're going to get ready to wrap this up. We only go in for about 13 minutes. Check out the replay, Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Play, iTunes. Just Google us. You'll find us. On YouTube, actually, too. It's archived there at LA Super Agent. Wow, this was heavy, y'all. This was heavy. Yo, you brought out blue feather technique and rewriting trauma. Rewriting trauma in the brain. Because again, what your mind is recording, it is recording it as a real event. So if your subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality, what do you think you should be doing? Rewriting it so that you are, quote unquote, living your best life. It's not just a song, but it's so profound because the vibration and the words in itself is creating for a lot of people, and I see this on social media, people are posting these pictures of them reliving these experiences as their best moments, as their best life. And I said this before, your digital footprint goes hand in hand with you co-creating the world in which you want to exist in. All right, I'm done, y'all. Thank you for sharing, 24K Levi. I see KB London. Landscape Larry says, thanks, KB London, for joining in. Thank you for sharing. You guys, this was awesome. This was profound. Be sure to connect, build, and share. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, at LA Super Agent on all social media. Shout out to Brenda Gallo says, morning, I'm going to have to get the replay. No worries, she said, I can't hear you, it's my phone. Yes, the blue feather technique. I want to know, I'm going to ask you next week if any of you have taken the time to do the blue feather. We believe as children, we know as adults. I love you, love you, love you. Have a powerful and productive week.